So a few days ago, I posted a video showing off the fact that on certain websites like AliExpress, one could go ahead and purchase, as strange as this may sound, a case for the yet unannounced, not just unreleased, but unannounced Google Pixel Fold. And today I'm going to show you something related to that, but something that takes this a step further because this individual, David Munoz Valero, I believe that's the correct way to pronounce this, reached out to me on Twitter because they went ahead and purchased one of these cases to compare it to their Surface Duo. I believe in this instance it is a Surface Duo 2. So this is very exciting and very, very cool. If you've been wondering exactly how the Pixel Fold will compare in terms of size, shape, dimensions to something like the Duo or the Duo 2, I think this is going to do a lot to make those comparisons make more sense. Now, if you remember, I actually did a size comparison using this website where you type in dimensions and it gives you these shapes and you can kind of manipulate them around. But I think that this does it a little bit more justice. You can visualize it more easily when you can see what is basically the phone on top of the other phone. So let's just dive into these pictures and see what we can kind of figure out here. So this shows what effectively is the Pixel Fold fully opened up, sitting on top of the Surface Duo 2. And the biggest thing that immediately jumped out to me was just the height of the device. Maybe it shouldn't have been that surprising to me because if we look at the size comparison tool, you can see that the Pixel Fold is nearly the same height as the Surface Duo 2. Duo 2 in red, Pixel Fold in green. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Oppo Find N2 because it's not super relevant to this. You can kind of see the Fold 4, how much more narrow and tall it is than both of these devices. So with the Pixel Fold, you're going to have more height, okay, because you actually are going to have smaller bezels. So the screen will be taller, but it's going to be more narrow than both screens combined on Surface Duo 2. Now, if you imagine doing split screen multitasking, it's going to obviously be two more narrow screens than you are used to. They're going to be taller and more narrow than the two literal screens on Surface Duo 2, your virtual screens on Fold, literal screens on Duo 2. But honestly, I think that this looks okay, and I think it's going to look a lot better than it does on the Z Fold, where those virtual screens are very skinny and very tall. This is going to be an improvement over that, at least for me. It's going to be closer to Surface Duo. The next image here, he basically has the cover display shown on the back of Duo 2, and this one is also really interesting because I think it shows to me how similar the Pixel Fold is going to feel to just holding your Duo 2 like this. It's going to be a bit more narrow, right? But it's really going to be a pretty similar form factor at that point, which is a good thing to me. And when you compare that to this, I mean, it's going to be a totally different experience than the Z Fold, and I believe in a good way. Moving right along, we have the back of the Pixel Fold on the back of the Surface Duo 2. And while I don't think we learn a whole lot here, it still is just really interesting to me how much closer to the width of Surface Duo 2 this thing is going to be than I could visualize in my mind. Of course, the Pixel Fold will be smaller than the case because it has to fit inside the case. But when you do the comparison that he's doing right now with the Z Fold, that is such a big difference. We are gaining so much width, but then on top of that, the height that is changing as well, the aspect ratio, at least to me, is going to be such an improvement. Side by side continues to kind of hammer this thing home. It looks a bit like a slightly smaller Surface Duo 2. This is a really interesting one too, guys, because look at how thin this thing is, okay? So again, this is in a case, theoretically. So it's adding some bulk, whereas Duo 2 has a bumper, no bulk added. Without a case on, this thing is going to be ridiculously thin, and it's probably going to feel really solid in your pocket. It's probably going to be easier to pocket than your Duo 2. And, when you talk about thickness, look how thick this thing is compared to Duo 2, right? Like, this thing is considerably thicker because of the fact that it is a wedge shape. Now, of course, Z Fold 5 is doing away with the wedge. So perhaps the Z Fold 5 will be the most pocketable folding phone, but the Pixel, I think, is going to be okay, in particular for those of us who are used to putting this hulking behemoth in our pocket. And then once more, this is a really nice shot. Let me open this up in a new tab so that I can really zoom in. I'm really pleased that he thought to do this. Look at the size difference when it comes to half and half when it is open. This thing is going to feel really, really good because of how thin it is. It is genuinely approaching Surface Duo levels of thickness, and that lines up with the leaks that we have seen. With no case on, it's going to be right there with Duo and Duo 2 in terms of thickness. Absolutely incredible. Guys, again, colossal, gigantic shout out to David for sending this over, for buying the stuff and sending it over. I thought about doing it, but AliExpress takes forever. He said it took about 2 weeks for him to do it. I should have just done it myself, and perhaps maybe I still will, so that I can do the same thing and hold it up next to the Z Fold as we await the full announcement and launch of this thing early next month. Although by the time I have it delivered, it's going to be like June before this thing arrives, at least if the AliExpress estimation was correct. But, like I said, maybe I need to just go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. Again, though, huge thanks to David for sending this stuff over. If you can't tell, I am extremely excited for the Pixel Fold. And if you're like me and you've been waiting for this next folding device, maybe you've been thinking about Surface Duo 3 and you've seen the news that I reported the other day that the Duo team had actually been pulled off of Surface Duo 3 for a while, and Duo 3 is almost certainly not coming in 2023. Boy, oh boy, Pixel Fold is looking better and better by the minute. Guys, hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.